Now from KRON 4, the Bay Area's local news station.
Oakland police are discussing the city's decision to cut $8 million from the police budget. Let's listen in.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. First of all, I'd like to introduce those that are with me by my side. Councilmember LeRonne Taylor from District 6, Bridget Cook, our victim liaison for the Oakland Police Department. It took me a couple days to get to this point where I could talk to the media because I had some serious concerns and obviously had a difficult time wrapping my head around certain decisions that were made. I'll start off today by saying that I'm challenged by the decisions that were made on Thursday around the budget for the city of Oakland, particularly for the Oakland Police Department. First, want to say that I believe strongly that Mayor Schaaf put forward a budget that was designed to preserve public safety for the entire city, both law enforcement and violence prevention. These are not two separate things. We work together. We've always worked together. And the success of this city will not be just law enforcement. It won't be just the Oakland Police Department. It will be the Oakland Police Department, it will be the Department of Violence Prevention, and it will be, most importantly, community. But today, we find ourselves in a crisis. We find ourselves reeling from a weekend of violence where we've seen 4 homicides over a 3-day period. It now has us currently at 65 homicides for the year. It's a 90% increase compared to last year. Our shootings are up over 70% this year. Our robberies are up 11% this year. It's been 1,300 robberies in this city already this year. Our carjackings are up nearly 88%. So we see clearly that crime is out of control in the city of Oakland, and our response was for less police resources. But when city council members, the majority of them that voted to defund this police department, that additional $17 million that was reduced from the police department's budget will have an impact. When you hear the statements from those that say nothing will change, that is not true. Yes, it will. The impact will be immediate with a slower response time to emergency calls for service. The 911 surge units that were used to respond to violent crime, used to respond to community members called to our 911 system, will have less resources, less officers responding. That is going to have an impact. It's going to delay response. We already have a tough time responding to the high number of calls that we get. This will make it tougher, having less officers in the field, particularly for marginalized communities like Deep East Oakland, where we see 2/3 of our calls coming from. They will be impacted the most. That concerns me. Traffic enforcement. We won't have additional traffic enforcement to deal with the high level of vehicular violations that we see across our city. With having 2 fatal collisions in the last 7 days, we know that our traffic enforcement is needed in the city of Oakland, and we won't have the resources to deploy those officers. And we won't have the resources to fill key positions like our ceasefire officers, like our community resource officers, and like our investigators, all of which we need desperately. Our ceasefire team is our team that addresses violent crime in our city. And because our numbers are so low today, we can't afford to add any additional officers to that unit. I say to you today that when the mayor made her budget, it wasn't a choice of the Oakland Police Department versus the Department of Violence Prevention. It was a budget designed to make sure that we had both, that we had adequate number of officers for the Oakland Police Department to address the increased number of 911 calls that we continue to see, but also to work closely with our violence interrupters so that we can help prevent violence as well. I have never been about against violence prevention. I've always been a huge supporter of violence prevention and have worked closely with the Department of Violence prevention to actually come to peaceful outcomes when it comes to violence. But when we talk about this hourglass of resources is what I call it, because the response was that we will get additional violence prevention resources, but those resources we will not see in the field until next year. So as of July 1, there will be not one additional resource to help address public safety in the city of Oakland. There will be not one additional officer out there to support public safety, and we won't have an increased presence on the ground in the city of Oakland. That concerns me. Also, reducing our academies. The mayor's proposal was for 6 academies in a 2-year period. The budget allowed for 4, 2 academies a year. We graduate essentially 30 officers per academy. That's 60 officers in a year period. But we were clear that our attrition rate is 5.5 officers a month. That means that we are bringing in 60, but we are losing close to 65. So our department is not growing, our department is shrinking. So when you start with a number as low as 714, and you look at the attrition rates and the number of officers that we'll bring into the building, you can see that before December of 2021, this department will be significantly below 700. There's no way around it. We will be in a very difficult place that may potentially lead to mandatory overtime for officers. I want to address a comment that was made by one of our city leaders during these budget meetings. It was referred to as a bump in the road, a speed bump, that we would go through a period where there would be speed bumps and there would be challenges and things may not go right, but we would be okay. Well, for me, those speed bumps are 65 lives so far this year. Victims who have suffered at the hands of violence, whether it's shootings, robberies, carjackings, sexual assaults. All of these crimes are not speed bumps. These are people. Far too often in these meetings, we are talking about numbers. We are talking about money and cost. I don't know what the cost of a life is, but I know not having resources makes our city less safe. It concerns me that we would ever consider that to be a bump in the road. That when you look at this screen and you see these are true people. These are people who lost their lives in this city. The violence that impacts our community every day. When I go to scenes and I meet with mothers and family members, they're not talking about numbers, they're talking about their children. This is my god sister. That means something to me. Saturday night, I went out to a scene of a young man that lost his life. And a lady yelled out the window, "Do something about it." Without the resources, it makes it challenging to make Oakland safe. And more families find themselves dealing with trauma, find themselves dealing with putting the pieces together. When the yellow tape is gone, and when the streets are cleaned up, there is still hurt and pain and tragedy in our community. I hope that we can put politics aside and put public safety first. Put people's lives first before political agendas. I'm not a politician. My job is to keep the city of Oakland safe. That's what I'm here for. And I'll take questions.
Chief, you call it a political agenda, but this has been something that's been building for 20 years now. Is it a political agenda, the fact that people out there simply don't trust the Oakland PD department the way it operates?
I think you have to look at things in context. When you look at this department and the way in which this department has been reforming, when you look at the improvements that have been happening with this department, when you look at the fact that this department 15 years ago was having an estimate of 7 to 8 officer-involved shootings a year, and now it's the lowest department in the country for officer-involved shootings, it says that things are changing. When you look at our racial disparity numbers and you look that over a 4-year period, we've reduced the number of African-American people that we stopped by 65%. When you look at the latest report from the Federal Monitor about the improvements of this department, you can see that it's turning the corner. But when we have that argument, we have to talk about, does the decisions that are being made, does it make this city safe? Is it safer? On July 1, is it going to be safer than it is today? We can have philosophical differences about policing, but when we talk about public safety and we talk about people who are picking up firearms and using them in our community, there is no response to that because it's happening every day.
Why do you think that hasn't resonated with people? Because this vote was a reflection of how this was not 1 or 2 council people. This was a vote of a growing number of people. Why do you think that message of improvement, in your view, has not resonated with this community?
Because I think it's easy to sit in a room and have a discussion about what public safety looks like and your ideas about what could make Oakland better. It's much different when you come out into the community and meet on the ground with those families. It's much different when you go into meetings in East Oakland, in Councilmember Taylor's district, when you hear community members demand more resources, a stronger police response to shootings. When you go to 98th and you hear from senior citizen communities in Brookfield where they say they can't sleep at night, that's when you hear the real stories about what the need is in the city of Oakland. People are suffering, but their voices aren't heard when we have these meetings. We are talking about things that don't improve people's quality of life every day. That's what I'm talking about.
Matt Boone with KCBS. Do you mind explaining the data on that whiteboard over there? Are those 2020 numbers from January to June of 2020, or how are you calculating that data?
Yes, we calculate the data from January of 2020 to our current year to date, and every Monday, in which my staff will be updating it, because every Monday we have to update those stats. And when I first took over as chief, that was the one thing I said I wanted to be in this conference room for our executive team to see every day, because we have to be abreast of what's happening every single day. We should see it. Those numbers have meaning. And as you've seen on the screen, those numbers are people. I hate referring to them as numbers because I know, as somebody that has lost somebody that meant a lot to me, that they actually have names, that each one of those victims have names. And we make sure that every day that we are cognizant of what we're doing while we're here.
Chief, how would you assess Oakland's general overall safety after you've implemented the things you have to do?
I think, we've been doing everything we can to make the city safer. I will say that we have recovered nearly 600 firearms so far this year. Our officers are working tirelessly, and so I'm happy with our effort. But I think this is a collaboration between both community, Department of Violence Prevention, and a department. But I think having less resources doesn't make us better. It clearly is going to impact us. Having 714 officers is far too low. We should be working as hard as we can to get this department fully staffed to the 788 officers that is authorized. That's what's key, getting all of the seats filled. And you need 6 academies to do that. This city deserves that. This is a city that when in 2013, it was 395,000 people in this city. This city is now 433,000 people. That's 38,000 more people, and we have not one additional police officer. Not one. And to think that 38,000 people would move into a city that already had violence, had high numbers of violence, and we not have any investment in public safety at all? I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? And this city continues to grow. If you look out the window behind you, you'll see 3 or 4 cranes in the back of you. This city will continue to grow. And the investment can be on both sides. It can be in violence prevention, but it also needs to be with growing a police department that has severely been under-resourced for many years. We didn't just get defunded on last Thursday. We've been getting defunded for several years by not growing a department while a city is growing.
Chief,
Yeah.
hi. Leanne Melendez from ABC 7. So is the exact number, if you could correct me or not, is it 18 million over 2 years, or is it 18 million every year for the next 2 years?
18 million over the 2 years.
Over 2 years.
So it's 18, not 17. You said 17.
It's a little over 17 and a half.
Okay.
Yes.
Two questions. One, you mentioned there were 4 homicides this weekend, 1 on Saturday. So is it 3 on Friday?
Yes, one was a gentleman that was in critical condition that unfortunately was pronounced dead Friday morning. We had 2 additional shooting homicides, one Friday afternoon and then one later on Friday evening. And then we had a homicide Saturday. And while we speak, we just had a shooting prior to us coming into this meeting with somebody else in critical condition that is fighting for their life right now as we speak.
And you mentioned, excuse me, working in collaboration with the Department of Violence Prevention. I believe the council gave about an additional 17 or 18 million to DVP. Do you see a way forward where that collaboration can be bolstered to kind of make up for maybe some funds lost from OPD?
I think the collaboration can be bolstered. I think we continue to want to collaborate. I think, but it's going to take some time for DVP to get those resources on the ground. We're talking about starting from hiring, starting from identifying those individuals that can fill those positions. That won't happen for a significant period of time. And what happens in the meantime, because that money came out July 1. And so less resources from the police and then no resources currently on the ground from the Department of Violence Prevention. So I think that's what really concerns me, is that there's a gap. There's a gap in services on both sides, and we have nothing to fill that gap.
Chief Maureen Kelly with Toronto 4 News. My understanding the budget has passed. What do you want from today? What are you hoping to go forward with here?
Well, I think this is, a response that was given to council members before the vote. I hoped as the chief, when I made these very same presentations to council members, that it would resonate. That when we have these discussions about the impact of decisions, that they would be taken seriously, but they weren't. And so that's concerning. But I also want community to know that we have to hold people accountable, and that what we've seen happen is not okay, and we're not a safer city as a result of it.
Chief, can I just ask you one last thing? I think there was a very long chase later last week. Can you tell us a little bit more about what was involved in that chase?
Yeah, I'll let the PIOs actually handle that.
You following the press conference regarding that.
One other one.
This will be the last question.
Thank you.
No problem.
My understanding, I've been told that parking was restricted around the Lake Merritt over the weekend. Is that something that's going to continue?
We can also follow up.
We'll take care of that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can be available afterwards. Yeah.
Been listening to Oakland Police Chief LeRonne Armstrong responding to the close to $18 million in budget cuts that is going towards the Oakland Police Department over the next 2 years. He said that decision that was made by Oakland City Council last week, he's having a hard time wrapping his head around that decision. He says, he said, quote, "We find ourselves in a crisis from this decision. We are reeling from a weekend of violence in Oakland. 4 homicides over a 3-day period happened in Oakland over the weekend, which brought us to 65 homicides for the year, a 90% increase compared to last year. Shootings are up by 70% in Oakland, according to Chief Armstrong. Robberies are up by 11%, and it's been 1,300 robberies in Oakland this year. Carjackings are up by 88%. The chief said crime is clearly out of control in the city, and he doesn't understand how the response from the city council was for less police resources. He says that means 911 system will have less resources, which means less officers will be able to respond, and response will be delayed, which the city already has a tough time doing. He said it all really does concern him, and he says it's unfortunate because because the budget by the mayor, he felt, was really designed to prevent violent crimes. This decision, however, by the city council puts the city in further crisis. When asked just a little bit about, you know, this is a trend that they've been seeing for about 20 years, he said, you know, it's easy to sit in a room and have a discussion about what public safety looks like, but the chief says it is much different when you go into those communities, meet with families who have been victims of violent crimes, and you go into places like East Oakland, the people are demanding for more resources, and then you don't receive the money for it. KRON 4's Maureen Kelly was there at that press conference. She's going to have more on this coming up on KRON 4 News later today.